Hey Prismariners, it's me Prismarine, and this video will be a little different than usual. Today I'll be playing some chess, but I'll be showing you my favorite opening for the black pieces. Um, it doesn't work all the time because it depends on the move that white plays. Um, if you enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below if you want to see more videos like this. But yeah, today I'll be showing you the Dutch defense, and this is for the black pieces for the move 1d4 for white. So I will show you this board that I have. Okay, here we are. We have a dumb d4 player who's playing white, and I am the Dutch defender. Now the Dutch defense usually it always starts with d4 and then f5, which right here says the Dutch defense. Now this is a pretty passive opening at the start because you're just looking to defend your pieces. A variation that is commonly seen is like maybe they go for kind of an English opening a little bit, or with c4. I don't know, but then you play knight f6. This is the main line. It's the normal variation. Usually, like, this is probably one of the most common formations you'll see. Other times, like, they might fianchetto their bishop, or bring either of their knights out, or maybe just develop this bishop over here, looking to, like, pin the pawn or something, but then you can just deflect them. But yeah, next they'll probably develop a knight. But the main line usually plays g6, and this, like, the computer always says, like, it's usually losing for black because they're just staying passive. They could, like, develop their other knight, for example. They might not want to take the center by force yet because you've played f5 already. You're kind of preventing them from playing e4 until, like, they bring that knight out, so they could play that next. But usually, a very good move for black is kind of fianchettoing their bishop on g7. I really like playing this variation. So, like, you have vision of, like, this side of the board if they play, like, this structure with this knight there. So you can just kind of x-ray their knight. So now, like, they'll either, like, continue development with, like, bringing the bishop out, which is what I'll do in this case. I mean, they could play e4, but honestly, you would just take, like that. But yeah, a move I like doing, sometimes before, if they're also staying passive, is e6, making a I'll actually play it here, making a very nice pawn pyramid, and I really like this for endgame situations where you're just advancing and advancing, and you just keep going all the way with all of your pawns, and they can't really stop you because it's a d4 opening, and if they castle kingside, well, they're dead. So the Dutch defense can be played a lot of variations. Like, you can look this up. But I really like playing this. Here, they'll probably, I don't know. Like, and you've also kind of stopped the development of that knight. Maybe they'll play, like, I don't know, queen d3. Just getting the queen in there. Looking for places. But you could actually, like, almost trap this queen if this pawn could move 2 spaces, or almost trap it. But yeah, queen d3, looking to castle queenside. But next move, you castle. You could also castle before playing e6, and you don't even have to play e6 at all. But I really like this because if they play, like, e5 sooner, they can develop this bishop and, like, block you from castling. But yeah, this is the main line usually for black, and many games go on like this. I mean, I've seen people do this. My knight's already defended, but they next move they probably want to play e4. So I'll just develop a knight. They'll probably play e4. I don't know what they're doing here. But here you probably don't want to take. I don't know what you'll do. Maybe bring the queen to e8. Probably like doing this. But the Dutch defense can be a very deadly weapon in a lot of situations where players play e4. And there are a lot of counterattacks, but I recommend this for players beginner to intermediate. Higher intermediates probably can definitely counter the Dutch. I'm a beginner myself, so you don't even have to talk to me. You don't even have to listen to this video. You can click out if you want. Don't, please. But, I mean, you don't have to take my advice. I'm just letting you know that the Dutch defense exists and that it is a good weapon for black against d4. So next, I'm going to show you a few games, just two games, that I played with the Dutch defense, because it's like my favorite opening for black, regardless. But yeah, I will send you over to those right now. Alright guys, here we are in the game section of the video. I will be showing you two of my games that I played with the Dutch defense. Of course, you don't have to take my advice. I just really like this opening, and I recommend it for beginner to intermediate levels against d4 as the first opening for white. So, without further ado, let's get into the games. Okay, so it starts out with d4, f5. He played e3, just solidifying the center, and I played knight f6. He played bishop d3, and then I played e6. This was a pretty early game of mine. I barely knew the Dutch. I just really liked it. I didn't know that g6 was the better move here. But yeah. So if I had played like g6 in this situation, then yeah, then I would have developed. Then let's say give him developing move. Then I would have developed there, going like going like this. That's what I would do now. But yeah. So I played e6 in this situation. Now here he played knight f3, just developing. Then I played bishop e7, which is kind of like a reverse fianchetto. And he castled, and then I castled, and then he played rook e1, probably just trying to put his rook on the open file once this position opens up. So he's probably looking for a pawn break in the future with some of these pawns. Next, I played bishop b4, attacking the rook, so he would get it out. And I don't know why I play this move, because then he just has that, blocking it and attacking me at the same time. So I just wasted a move on doing that. But I did develop my bishop slightly. Next he played e4. I took, and then he took back with his bishop. And then I played queen e8. X-ray vision. Oh, whoops. Now I have X-ray vision to the rook. If I open up the pawns and then take the bishop in the future. But yeah. Next, he played queen c2, which I was like, at the time, I was like, huh, what is that? But then I was like, wait a minute. He has just created a battery with his queen and his bishop, and I'm like, oh no. That's not good for me. So I better block with g6. If you don't know what a battery is when a queen and a bishop are lined up on the same diagonal and they're looking to attack you. I played g6 so I could just deflect that, because if you take, I just take your bishop, and I mean if you take with the queen there, then I just take back with the queen. So at the time I thought g6 was a pretty good move. There's probably other computer lines that are crazy, but I didn't know. Next, he played knight g5. I don't know what he was doing here. Maybe just attacking this weak pawn, but the king and the knight defend. Oh, that was a bad arrow. Next, I played knight c6, just developing because I'm not afraid, and I'm protected by this pawn when I develop. He played bishop e3. He's probably just developing his bishop. I don't really know what he was doing here. But then I just played b5, which I was looking to develop the bishop probably here. So when I move the knight, I would have a discovered attack. And I would probably move my knight here to defend the bishop. But then he played knight a3, just attacking this pawn. But it is a threat because if he takes there, then he attacks my bishop. And he gets his knight just right there. Next, I played bishop a6, developing. So now, like, my idea here was, like, I don't want to go there because then he'll just, he'll probably just take right away and still attack my bishop first. So I played bishop there, defending the pawn. Next, he played b4, just blocking my pawn from advancing to attack the knight. I played e5, looking for a pawn break in the center, which is a bad move by me. Because, like, if my queen wasn't here, then, like, if he just took, I mean, like, he just forks my pieces. So, yeah. But next he played a move that kind of surprised me, which was bishop d5 check. I was like, what are you doing? I don't think he realized that, like, I could just take him. And then putting pressure on this bishop, and eventually the queen maybe later. And this is also a weakness in the structure in the future once the queen moves. But, yeah, I don't think he realized that, but he just gave me a free bishop, which was good for me at the time. Next, he played bishop d2, just sliding his bishop back, hoping not for a trade. Next, I played e takes d4, opening up the rook to the queen. And, of course, he took back. He didn't see that he could just take my queen for free. And, of course, I am a beginner, so a bunch of these mistakes happen all the time. Next, I played queen d8. I finally saw that the rook was just looming onto my queen, so I just sidestepped out of the way. Next, he played knight e4, just attacking this bishop, and probably just trying to get in here in the future. That's a very strong square defended by two pawns. I played queen h4 next, and it's like my logic here was, hey, I have a rook on the f-file, and if I play queen h4, that pawn is a big target. It is defended by the knight, so I might take that in the future. But yeah, next he played g3, just trying to kick my queen out, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna chill right next to you. Your king can't get away. It has one legal move in this, which is there. So I just put my queen there, and it's chilling, and it cannot be attacked in the next few moves. So next he played knight takes bishop, and then I took back with the pawn. Next he played queen takes my knight. Yeah, this guy is rated 547. These mistakes do happen. Don't know if I don't think he knows that pawns take like that. But yeah, that was just a win for me. It took 2 seconds for me to make that pawn move. Next he played bishop f4. Then I just took with the knight. He took there, and I took the pawn with the rook. And at this point, I'm up 10 points of material. And there are 3 moves left in the game, because this is just a very winning endgame for me. It's kind of an endgame. It's like a middle game transitioning into an endgame. But yeah, next he's played rook to e6. He's trying to pawn gobble here, just take all my pawns away and attack the bishop. But I was like, no, man, I'm going to stack my rooks. There's nothing you can do to stop mate in 2. Then he just started pawn gobbling. I don't think he sees the mate. I took there. His king can't take me because I've doubled my rooks, as I said. He continues to pawn gobble. And there are actually 2 mates here. This one and queen takes pawn is also checkmate. So, yeah, that is one of my earliest games with the Dutch defense. And it can be a very deadly weapon. Like this game, as you can see by the time, didn't last that long. But yeah, it was a very fun game to play for me at the time because, like, I'm a beginner and I love winning games. But yeah, the Dutch defense can be used in many situations. So I'm going to pull up the next game now. And here we are. We're back with another game. This one I just played last night. The day I'm recording this is April 2nd. I just played this game last night, and this inspired me to make this video, actually, because I think this was a really cool game for me. It only lasted for 33 moves, but yeah, it was still an exciting game at the time. So, of course, it starts off with d4, f5. He played g3, and I knew here, oh, yeah, he's going to fianchetto his bishop, which is just putting the pawn forward and then putting the bishop there, long-term targeting that pawn. You know, the other reason I knew, like, why it was this, because it just says Dutch defense fianchetto attack right there. So I still played knight f6. I wasn't scared. Then he fianchettoed his bishop. I played g6. Now I know the main line Dutch, which is playing g6. He played d5. I was like, oh yeah, I can take this. Free pawn, let's go. And if I took it, that would be very bad, because then he can put his queen and his bishop in the center of the board and, like, pick off all of my pieces. And, of course, I did see this, so I didn't take. I just developed my bishop, kind of fianchettoing it. So, like, whenever I move my knight, my bishop has vision of that pawn, just like his. He developed with knight c3. I played e6, making this nice pawn pyramid that I talked about earlier. But yeah, I love making this pawn pyramid because it's just a very strong structure if you can, like, get it intact to the end game. Like, you can just push all of these pawns up as far as you want to go, and you can have a lot of potential queens. Here he played d6. I was like, huh, free pawn. Because at this point, like, I only saw the queen was chilling there at the, like, after I played the game. I only saw the bishop, so I was like, oh yeah, free pawn, I'm gonna take it. So I took it, and then he surprised me with queen takes d6, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? I don't know how to stop this. He's got a queen in my face. He wants to go here. He wants to take my knight. He wants to pawn gobble, potentially. I don't know what he's gonna do. It's very scary to have a queen in my face. I was like, whoa, I don't know what to do. So I thought for 17 seconds on this, and I should have honestly thought for longer. Like, cause it's the early part of the game. But I played queen e7. Which was definitely not the best move. I was like, oh yeah, I want a queen trade, and I have my king defending it. The computer actually says that bishop f8 is the best move, and now that I see it, I totally agree, because not only is it defended by my king, it's defended by my rook, and I'm attacking the queen. But yeah, I just played queen e7, and next he played knight b5. I was like, no. He's gonna try and fork me here. I saw that. So next I played and next I played a6. Or, well, I didn't see the fork until he actually forked me. I was like, no! What have I done? He forked me. But then I was like, wait. No, he didn't. Because of, like, I moved my king out of the way. But if you take my rook, I just take your queen for free. I mean, like, you have to think about, like, what they're gonna play. And in this situation, I saw that, like, I was not forked at all. So I played king d8, attacking the knight, trying to get it out of there. Of course, I can't take it. But here, we queen traded, and then he took my rook. So, yeah, he is up 5. I was like, man, I'm going to lose this game. My king is so weak. I mean, like, my pieces down here are not even developed, and I just lost a rook. But on the other hand, he's even less developed than me now. Like, he only has one attacking piece, like this bishop. And it's just attacking that pawn. Because this knight isn't doing anything. What is this knight going to take? He can only move there, and there. What are you going to do? So, I played b5. I just wanted to pawn storm on the queen side. I don't know what I wanted to do. I was just kind of mad that I lost my rook. Then he played knight to b6. Just targeting my bishop here. I played bishop b7. Attacking hit. At this moment I remember. I played this move. I was like, yeah, I got my bishop out of danger. That's the only safe square. But if you remember, he has one attacking piece. My bishop was actually trapped with knight b. Whoops, that's spoiling the video. With knight b6, my bishop was actually trapped. I couldn't move it anywhere without it being taken, and the best move is probably just to keep it on this square, because then I can just trade and open up my rook. I forgot what the computer says about this, but I played bishop b7. And he didn't take! He didn't take! He played bishop f4! And then, after this move, I saw the bishop! I saw it! I was like, yes! Free rook! Free rook, there's nothing he can do about it. Like, he can't stop this. He thought for 36 seconds on this move. I was like, what is he gonna play? Is there actually a move that can stop? He just long castled. I mean, it's a decent move. I mean, like, you open up your rook, but that's defended twice, actually. Not 3 times, because the knight also targets. So, you're also losing a rook there. But next, I just took the rook. I'm up 3. I'm up 3 points of material. I won a free bishop. And then I got the rook that I lost back. So, when you're in tough situations, like, don't give up. Like, you have a lot of chances to simplify and to get back into the game. But yeah, next, after his inevitable taking of rook, he just played f3. I don't know what he's doing, trying to box my bishop in with this pawn structure. But my bishop isn't trapped at all. I mean, now you've just blocked in your own knight, except for h3, which is like a bad move. It does defend the bishop, but I don't know what you're gonna do. Here I just developed my knight, played knight c6. He played rook takes d7 check. And as I said, like, it was double defended, but now it's just single defended, and I don't think he really thought this knight would just go back and take. I mean, he didn't even take my knight back, putting my king into an even weaker position. He just developed his knight to the only square. And of course, I took the free knight. Because who doesn't like free stuff? Free stuff is great. Here he played bishop g5 check. I played bishop e3, trying to bishop trade. And here, or no, bishop f6. Sorry, I was reading the next move. Next move, he played bishop e3, attacking this knight. I don't think I saw that, so I just played bishop g2. Attack. Oh, actually, I did see that. So that's why I played bishop g2, because like if you take my knight and I take your knight. But yeah, he went knight f4, and I played bishop f1 and forgot about the free knight, and of course he took the free knight, and I was like, ah, man, now I'm only up 7 points of material. Then I played e5, attacking his knight now, and he played bishop to c5 check, and I just moved my king back to its original square. And that's where my king sat for the rest of this game. I never moved my king again. Next move, he played knight d3, probably just defending his bishop. Also, like, he's just defending that pawn, not even doing anything really. So I just played bishop takes e2, and now I'm attacking 2 pieces. I mean, he played, like, probably the best move to defend here, knight b4. Actually, no. I'm thinking of a different game where somebody had me in a bind and I couldn't take any pawns. But he played knight b4, attacking my knight. I took him, and then we traded knights. Then I took the free pawn. Next, he played bishop a5. I don't know what that move was. Maybe he's trying to bait me into bishop trading here. But no, I played e4. And back to the pyramid structure. Look at this. We both have like 2 major pawn structures. Major as in more than one. So I just have 2 guys chilling here against 3. Hopefully, like, I can deflect most of the attack if he ever pushes these pawns in the future. But then I have a 4-on-2 here. 4 of mine versus 2 of his. What's he gonna do about it? I basically have 2 guaranteed queens here, and then I still have a rook, and I have the bishop pair here, so I am completely winning. 2 bishops, a rook, 6 pawns. He has 5 pawns, and a bishop and a king. So next he played b4, probably just stopping my pawn from pushing on that side, and I just played e3, because, hey, I'm gonna make a queen. And you've just blocked in your bishop from defending the square where I have my fastest queen. So I'm like, I'll just keep going. Then he played h4. I wasn't worried. I played e2. Then he played king d2. I was like, dogs. Now he's just gonna defend from me making a queen. Dang it. Let me just pawn trade. And here he didn't pawn trade. He just went right in front of my pawn, which the computer hates this move. I was like, this is a pretty good move. He just stops me from making a queen. So then I just took. He didn't take. He just played bishop b6. What is this move? Are you trying to, like, defend this square? What are you doing with this move? So then I took the other free pawn, and now I'm threatening to make a queen on 2 fronts, and he can't move here because of this pawn. This pawn covers these 2 squares. This king is basically trapped in. His only move is here. And I can checkmate him in 1 after he plays bishop g1. I could checkmate him in 1. I found the checkmate after this. I just played h5, developing this. Then he played c3, and then I saw the mate, which was beautiful. Bishop and pawn mate. Bishop takes c3, checkmate. I mean, wow. This is, like, pretty cool, mate. This pawn covers these 2 squares. The bishop covers his only escaping square. This pawn covers this. I mean, and this bishop just defends his pawn. So he's in the box, and he can't escape. And he's also in check. So yeah, that was a very cool game that I love sharing with you guys. yeah, this was a really fun game for me to play last night. I really liked it. If you did enjoy the video, that would be great if you could subscribe and like. We are close to 100 subs once again. But yeah, tell me if you joined this video down in the comments. Like, say if you want me to cover a different opening that I use. Like, I also play the Caro-Kann for, like, King's Pawn openings. And I can also share, White Pieces opening. I usually play, like, E4. And, like, I usually play the King's Knight. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, like, subscribe, comment down below, like, what you want to see next. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day.